Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, April 1st. It is 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple of things here to update, and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. So we are good to go. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. And as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking liquidity over here. Going down to the 8-hour chart. Going down to the 4-hour chart. Going down to the 2-hour chart. Down to the 1-hour chart. Down to the 30-minute chart. Down to the 15. Down to the 10-minute. And it looks like we're good to go. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, April 1st. It is 6:24 right now. Market's going to open in about 6 minutes. I've marked up liquidity over here, so the closest level of liquidity is going to be down below at 40,115. And the next level is going to be above at 40,300 up here. So we got that marked up. With that said, I will go ahead and take a look at the clean chart here. The markup 6:30, markups 8 o'clock. And go up to the 4-hour time frame real quick, identify some structure over here. So we have some upper structure right there, which is the 4-hour resistance. We have the structure down below here, which is the 4-hour support, going down to the 1-hour. 1-hour support right there. And it looks like we are good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and go down to the 1 minute, take this off. Put this right here as the 4-hour resistance level. And down here, we'll put this as the 1-hour support level. So we got the structure marked up right there on the clean chart. We'll see what happens here when the market opens. ATR is currently at 9 right now, so it's actually pretty decently high for pre-market conditions. Going over here to our breakout V3 chart, we have a double body rejection down here, but there's a pending buy signal already, so I'm not sure if this will be valid once we get to open, but we'll leave it as is right there. So we got that right there, pending buy signal. This is for the BV3 chart. going over here at the PRB. PRB is going to set up for a sell over here. As you guys can see, prices below the pivots. Pivots are angling down, trend meter is red. We'll be looking for a top rejection over here for the PRB. Lastly, looking over here at our main chart. This is our main chart. Here we had news this morning, or we have news this morning at 6:45. And then we have more news at 7 o'clock. So 6:45 and 7 o'clock is news time for today. We also have news over here, same thing, 6:45, 7. And I'll also put it over here on our VB3 chart, 6:45 and 7. So it looks like we're good to go, guys. We have everything pretty much marked up here. Market's gonna open shortly in about 3 minutes. Good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, April 1st, 6:27. Market's opening in 3 minutes. Let's see what's here so far. Morning, Steven. Morning, Jamie. Morning, Maria. Morning, Shannon. Morning, HP. Morning, Nick. Morning, Johnny. Morning, Omar. Morning, everybody. Steven said, Sean, I'm a bit worried about this error I made, my mistake. Yeah, I mean, I can't really help you with that, Steven. I don't trade gold, so I have no idea what you did. So, I mean, your best option is to reach out to Apex. I can't really help you with that. You've never seen me trade gold here, so I can't answer any gold questions regarding the gold contract. So guys, just a reminder, make sure you're trading on the proper contract. Steven here, he passed before, but he was trading on the wrong contract, so he blew his account. And then he traded on the wrong contract again, I think. And I mean, I can't really help him because I don't know. Bro, you knew you traded, it was a mistake you made before. You got to make sure you didn't make that mistake a second time. So, Steven, unfortunately, I can't really help you with that because I don't know what contract gold is on. I don't trade gold. But for YM, we're on June. So yeah, unfortunately, I can't really help you with that, Steven. Here, let me see if I can pull it up on mine, if I can see where the I mean, so GC looks like it's on April right now, but I haven't rolled over my contract, so I can't say for sure what contract you should be on. So Steven purchased a new account, accidentally placed gold trade in PA account. Yeah, so what happened with that, Steven? Did you blow the account, or did you take a gold trade and it blew the account? Because if you took a gold trade in the PA account and it, if you violated it, then you've lost your funded account. I'm not sure what the situation is, but yeah, I'm not sure. I can't really help. I don't trade gold, so I don't know what contract's supposed to be on, and I'm not sure what you did. That was a mistake. So you probably want to contact Apex, their support, their customer service, and they can help you out. They can tell you exactly what happened or if there's anything wrong. I mean, if anything, there's probably nothing wrong with it. All right, guys, market is going to open in about 10 seconds. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Market is now open, guys. So you got market open right here. I'll color this blue. ATR is currently at 10 right now. It's nothing too crazy. But let me go ahead and mark up opening price here. Opening price here. And opening price here. All right, so we got opening price marked up right here, guys. Price is kind of just going back and forth. ATR is currently at 12 right now, so it's picking up. For the PRB, if this rejects off this pivot, this could be the first step for the PRB. If it doesn't, then we'll see if price swings up and we have a new trend. Looks like that might be the case here. For the BB3, we currently have a buy signal that already came up, so this low right here is not going to be useful for us. There's no BB3 here. We have a double body rejection right here. Let's see, Nixon price is different on YM and NinjaTrader. It looks fine to me. It looks exactly where it should be. So mine's pretty much the same thing on my end. Not sure if anybody's seeing any difference, but I'm seeing the same thing here. All right, we have a pending double body rejection right here. There's no PRB set up yet. All right, so we do have the double body rejection here, guys. We're looking for a possible sell signal to come up. If a sell signal comes up here, this could be setting up for the breakout V3. Double body rejection, pending sell signal. It's like price is trying to push down to the liquidity down below right here. It's not there yet, but it's pushing down to it. Here's our clean chart. Price is pushing down to the support level, looks like. All right, so BV3 here is setting up. PRB hasn't set up yet. So we got 5 seconds left on this candle. 3, 2, 1, no sell signal. So if there's no BV3 set up yet, we need that sell signal to actually close. Yeah, it sounds like you should be fine, Steven. Yeah, I mean, you should probably be fine. You should roll over your contract though, because if it's on the April contract, we're currently April already, so you're probably moving over to May or something later. Let's make sure that you don't make the same mistake. Used May. Your other message, you said you used April, Steve. I don't know. Okay, if you use in May, then you should be fine. We're in April right now. Yeah, just make sure you're on the proper contract, guys. Just make sure you roll over your contracts. I mean, we're on June contract for YM, so we don't really have to roll over until like 2 months from now. So we're fine. But if you're trading different assets, just make sure that you're checking on that. All right, so we have a pending sell signal here. It's still not closed. Use the symbol for whichever is the distant future, Stephen. So like if it's April, then you should be using May or June, whatever is after April. You shouldn't be using April because that's when it expires. Same with like the March one. That's how you blew your account before because you were trading March and we were like or you were trading like February and we we're like in March. So yeah, you trade the distant future. You shouldn't be trading one that's like the same month. Let's see, Matt said his price is different on Ninja and TradingView, but he's in Cambodia. So yeah, it might be your internet connection, Max. I'm looking at mine over here. And I mean, it's kind of jumpy, but it's like if you look at them like right next to each other, it's the same price. So it might be the internet connection because the same situation with Nick there. Nick had the same problem. It was like during high volatility because it's moving so fast. But technically it should be the same. So you just need to make small adjustments like once you're in the position anyways, because it should be the same. Pricing should not be different unless you're on a different contract. All right, so we have the pending sell signal here that still hasn't closed yet. Just waiting for it to close. Looking at the PRB over here. So the PRB is setting up, guys. We had the rejection over here. Price came down, rejected off the pivot, rejected off the pivot. It's looking for space here, which hasn't come up yet, but it is looking for space here. We have a pending sell signal right here that hasn't closed yet, but it's looking like it's going to close soon. And we do have a sell signal there. All right, so if this candle here closes red, guys, this is going to be the breakout V3 entry. Candle has to close red. So just keep that in mind. Still 40 seconds left on this candle, so it's got a lot of time. It's got 30 seconds left on this candle. And guys, just a reminder, if you guys are not, I mean, I thought it'd be common sense. If you guys are on your last trade, make sure to take half risk so that you can keep going until you bounce back. So just keep that in mind for the people who are like on their very last trade that they're trading here for the BB3. All right, so this candle is about to close in about 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this right here is the BB3. It's right here. A little bit.
Order submitted.
Trade's now running. Trying to get it at the exact price point over here. All right, so let me set an alert over here. So I can see TP is at 51. So I got in at a little better entry, I think. The only problem here is that it's overextended. So that's like kind of like the issue with I mean the volatility is pretty high, but price is a little overextended from where it's currently at. Let me see if there's any news here coming up. CNBC just reported. Let's see, it says stocks are a little changed to start the second quarter. So CNBC just reported right now, just this, it just shows that the market's flat. The only problem here is that we do have news coming up at 6:45, which is forecasted to be positive. So we'll see what happens here in the next couple of minutes or so. Price still sitting right here on opening price or entry price. It's super tricky because we're right next to news here. I mean, the problem is we keep getting caught next to news because when price gets near news, price either kind of just gets flatlined or you start to get some pre-market news movement, which is always kind of tricky. Like right here, you can see price is just going sideways, which is not what we want. We wanted price to continue moving. And this is the same problem that we've had for the past couple weeks, unfortunately. So we keep getting caught around around news price, which I think that might be the thing that we might have to look into moving forward if if it keeps being an issue. Because right here you can see prices just going back and forth. There's not really much direction. Let me check the PRB real quick. There's no PRB entry. Our clean chart over here, prices below the sessions. The entry was off the session, so this was kind of a tricky entry too because of the red flag that would have posed an issue right here. So price is back at the sessions right here. It's projecting directly off it. Typically, if we're taking a normal scalp, we usually avoid trades around this area because this is where manipulation happens. And obviously you can see right here, manipulation is happening around this point. 6:40 right now, so we have about 5 minutes till news. But yeah, this is not the best area to be trading in because of the obvious. It's like right at the sessions right here where a lot of manipulation tends to happen. And that's where our entry candle actually happened. So the sell signal came up right here, then the red candle followed, and the red candle was actually crossing the sessions down below right here. So it's kind of just sitting around this area where there's a lot of manipulation. And then there's also news right here, which is very high impact. It's S&P Global Manufacturing PMI, it's inflation news. So we're just in a really, really tricky area right here. Yeah, not exactly the best area to be trading in. And the same situation that we were stuck in for the past 2 weeks. Like pretty much every entry happened around news price. So I'm trying to see if price will bounce off the sessions right here. This is kind of what I'm expecting. Rejection off the sessions and continuation back down. So sessions fake out right here, come back up, swing back down. But again, the tricky part about this is that this is right next to news, and you can see right there, it's still playing, it's still running through. Just in a tricky area. See if the news works in our favor, but it's getting really close to the news price right here, 642. We got news in about 2 minutes. We might get caught in the news spike. Because it is high impact. So we got price coming back down. I'm gonna hold on to it through news. If you guys want to pull out early for profit, you guys can. But it's just up to you guys. I gotta hold on to it because this is how the strategy works. And I can't pull early. Unless that becomes, one of the situations that we incorporate into the strategy. The strategy for me is I gotta hold on to it. It's in profit right now. But the only problem here is that we do have news in about a couple minutes. So again, if you guys don't feel comfortable with the position, feel free to pull out. For me personally, I'm going to hold on to it because that's just how the strategy works. And we're getting closer and closer to news right here. 6:43. We have a couple minutes till news. Still in profit. So the PRB is actually running as well. We have the PRB running along with the breakout V3. So we got two entries right here running alongside each other. Price came down right here, came up, rejected off the pivots, came down here. There was some space, came down lower, retested the pivots right here. And this right here would be the PRB entry. So the PRB entry for a sell, the BV3 is also running for a sell. And the key thing here is that we have news here at 6:45. So we got 2 minutes till news, which is what's going to be tricky for us here. See where price ends up going. Hoping it comes down before news, but I mean, price is probably going to consolidate here for the next minute or so. Yeah, so unless we get some pre-market news here or some pre-market movement, we're probably going to hold on to it until it drops lower. It's getting closer to TP. It's almost there. Yeah, if you guys want to pull out, feel free. Guess we're holding on to news. So we got news over here in about 15 seconds, guys. Here goes news candle. Check. I'll check the news in a little bit, unless someone else wants to take a look at the news. I'm just here watching it real quick. Volatility is still really low. There we go, full TP, mount. And we're back, boys. We're back. So, like I said before, guys, the probabilities are proper. Like I said, we haven't had that many. We've never really had 4 back-to-back losses, which we don't have here. We're back in profit. So nice work, guys, with the trades for today. Sure everything's flattened. Yeah, I'm good. All right, so we're back in profit with the BB3. It's kind of scary there because of the news. But other than that, it played out exactly how it was supposed to. So this is why I said, this is why I was saying we can't change the strategy, guys. Like a lot of people were crying about it last week. We can't change the strategy. Like the strategy is the strategy. And, you know, I got to hold on to it during news. I know the news sucks sometimes because it doesn't work in your favor. Let's even check the news. So let's see. The news was negative. Okay, so it worked out in our favor. It doesn't. The news isn't always going to work out in our favor. This is the problem, is that our entry came up around news. Like the four last losses was, or the last losses we had were like around news price. So it's hard to tell because you can't really predict what's going to happen with news, right? Sometimes news will show negative and price will still push up, or price will push up and then it'll, you know, come down. So nice work right there. If you guys took the breakout V3 full TP, if you guys took the PRB full TP as well, so both breakout entries full TP for the day. Liquidity over here also full TP, depending. So pretty much every entry I marked up for the day full TP. Liquidity hit on all three levels. And then also BB3 and PRB. So today's a pretty good day to start off the trading week. All wins on pretty much every entry that came up. And we look good here. And it's still dumping. So we are back in profit for the month. Great way to start off the month. Let me take a screenshot of my profits over here. So I think I told you guys I was testing out like other prop firms. I don't know if it's gonna work well because right now my for whatever reason um my top step's not linking to my NinjaTrader, which is kind of annoying. So I'm not sure. I mean, if it doesn't work, it's fine. I don't really care. But just a heads up, I'm just kind of being the guinea pig here, trying to figure out solutions to other copiers. All right, so here are my accounts. You guys can see all wins to kick off the week. Kind of lowered my contract size a little bit on some of the accounts. Obviously, you guys can see here. Okay, so these are all of these up here are like the first 20 accounts are going to be my funded Apex accounts. This right here is going to be my personal account, which is 640. And this is my take profit trader account. For whatever reason, my top step account doesn't show up on my NinjaTrader. Kind of annoying because this is the winning trade that we need for the day. But yeah, those are my profits for the day. So great work right there, guys. If you guys have profits to post up, feel free to send them in. We'll keep looking for some more scalps here, but for the most part, my official trades are done for the day. I only take the breakout V3. Some people like to take the PRB. Both of the PRBs, both of the breakouts hit full TP. PRB full TP here for 25 points. Breakout V3 full TP for 25 points. Liquidity here, 3 back-to-back full TPs for 30 points. And I think that's about it. There was a momentum pullback scalp that you guys mentioned earlier. It came up right here. Price came down, rejection right here. This is where the entry came up for the momentum pullback scalp. This is one of the favorites here, I think, by Daniel, of course. He's one of the main people who applies it still. It's a great strategy. It's just, it's hard to factor in risk, you know, unless you're like really taking smaller contract sizes. So looks like, and there's another entry up here too for the momentum pullback, or so the momentum pullback scalp, momentum scalp, pivot scalp, etc. There's like so many entries here that came up. There's also a high-low scalp here. So if you really want to break it down and look at every single strategy, there was a pivot scalp right here on this red momentum signal, momentum scalp. If you wanted to take a breakout V3 continuation that lined up with the actual breakout, there's also a momentum pullback scalp right here. High-low scalp, and I think that's it for right now. Yeah, because market opened over here at 6:30, so there's nothing else that happened since then. But yeah, if you guys want to keep looking for entries, you need to wait for the retracement. So you're looking for a buy signal to come up, retrace, and come back down. But until then, there's not really much here to take. So let's take a look at the team profits for the day. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are happy to be back in profit for this week. So we have Madhu here with a total profit of 1,125. Nice work, Madhu. We have Maddie over here, total profit of well over, let's say 500 for the day. Nice work, 500 on his Apex, and a total profit of 625 on his FTMO. Nice work, Maddie. We have the other Maddie here. It's funny because you guys post right after each other. We have other Maddie, total profit of, let's see, he has 20 accounts here. So we're going to say well over 4,000 for the day. Nice work, Maddie, catching liquidity there. We have Kenneth here. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 accounts. He has 800 per account. So we're going to say well over 10,000 for the day. All wins here. Nice work, Kenneth. We have Jeff here, total profit of 1,625 per account. He has 2 accounts here, so well over 3,000 for the day. Nice work, Jeff. And that's enough profits for right now so far. So if you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. I'll add my profits up shortly once we have some downtime. I mean, we have downtime right now, but I'll keep looking to see if there's anything for us to see or to take here, but it's not looking like there's much. So let me go over here to our clean chart. I'm going to mark up structure if there is any structure. So we have some structure right here. And we had some structure down here, just so that you guys can have an idea of like where market structure is currently sitting. So this is the 1 minute support. And there's another 1 minute support below. So this might be the range for today. I'm glad that the breakout V3 came up today because it looks like price might be going into range from here. So it actually worked out in our favor that it came up super early, like it's supposed to. The breakout's supposed to come up super early. That's typically how the strategy works. So this is the current market structure. The ATR is currently at 19, so it's still pretty decently high. It's just the market's not really going anywhere. It's going sideways. This is what happened for the past 2 weeks, which is super annoying because we're in the middle of spring or winter, spring, which is supposed to be very volatile. I mean, but the market's always going to be different, right? The market's not always going to be the same. If you look at traditional market data, market's supposed to be very volatile during this time period, but for whatever reason this year it's kind of slow. This is kind of how the summer market moves. The summer market moves very slow, and this is why the breakouts were very popular during the summer, because we took our entry really early on in the session, and then we were pretty much done, right? So other than that, I think that's it for right now. We have some more team profits here. So we have Nikki. Nikki took she took it to her evals, pulled out in profit, total profit of a little over 200 for the day. Nice work, Nikki. We have John here, took it for 10 points, pulled out early. It's all good, that happens. And it's probably a better decision that you did because of the risk. So John over here has 20 accounts, total profit of 1,169. So well over 20,000 for the day. Nice work, John. We also have Johnny over here, total profit of 11,200 for the day. Nice work, Johnny. All wins. All right, guys, solid profit so far. So I guess I could add mine up right now. So I have, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14, 15. So times 15 plus 60 plus 15 plus okay, so I'm currently at 22,000 45 for the day and the week so far. So plus and same thing for the week. 22,000. Which was kind of expected. I mean, I was expecting a win today. You know, hopefully this month runs just like April. I'm sorry, not April, like March. So we are in April. If you guys remember from the data, hopefully April runs just like March. So early March, we had a crazy win streak, right? We had an 11 win streak. We had one loss in between, so that's basically 12 wins and one loss. Basically a full-on win streak for like March 1st up until March 9th. Hopefully we have the same thing over here again when we move over to say, well, we are already in April, but yeah, as we move forward with April, hopefully that's the case again, because then it's gonna give us an idea of like, okay, this is how the strategy works early in the month. So if it starts to suck at the end of the month, then okay, we'll just stop using it, right? And we'll do something else. We'll just do regular smaller scalps or just lower risk. So this is the key of having the data, and that's why it's important that we keep pulling data from the strategy so we understand, okay, what changes need to be made moving forward, because we can't make changes until we have enough data. This entry came up at screenshot back 637. So this entry came up at 637, super early. I think all of our early entries typically hit. It was for a sell. It was a win, 25 profit, BB3. So I'm sticking to my game plan, guys. Only taking the BB3. So there goes our first win for April. And if you guys look at all the greens here, we've had a pretty good win streak. Well, not a win streak, but total wins. So from March up until April, we started doing the BB3, only BB3 from March up until now. We've had a total of 14 wins and only 5 losses. Total profit of 225 points. Win-loss ratio is probably higher than 70, which is good for a 1-to-1. It's actually really good for a 1-to-1 because 1-to-1 strategies don't typically have a high win rate. Okay, so looking at this right here, we currently have a retracement signal. So looking at this, we have a buy signal, which is pushing price up. I'll continue looking for any more possible entries that may come up. But again, I'm not taking any entries myself. So if you guys want to take these entries, take them at your own risk, but I'm not going to be taking them. I only take the BB3. That's about it. My risk is pretty much calculated as it should be. And yeah, I mean, looks like we're good. So I need to calculate my contract size for the next move. Let's see. Let me just calculate this real quick. So we had 2 losses, 1 win, that's like 1 loss, 2 losses, that's 3 losses, 1 win. Okay, so I'm calculating my contract size. I think I'm now at 3. So now I can increase my contract size because my drawdown is higher for the next trade. Hopefully we just have straight wins. If we have straight wins, that'll be great because then I'll be back in profit, and then hopefully I can request a withdrawal. I would have to do it by Friday. So I'm hoping we have straight wins for this week so that I can still make my withdrawal. If not, it's fine. I'll wait till the next pay period because I want to keep enough cushion on my account for the rest of the month, of course. All right, let me check the chat real quick. See what you guys got over here. Nice, Steven said, now he finally learned to be patient. Otherwise, he would have revenge traded and blew his account. Yeah, no, exactly, Steven. It's all about consistency. So let's see. I think this is Akil. Akil is asking, can we take another BB3 today, or is it 1 per day? So the breakout B3 is 1 per day. If you take the continuation, you can take as many as you like throughout the entire day, but it's a different TP stop loss. I think some of you guys here pulled out earlier, which is completely fine. Let me scroll down real quick. Omar is asking, how much minimum would you recommend for funding a live futures account, Sean? To be on the safer side, I'd probably recommend 10,000. I started with 5,000, but you can see we had a straight win streak right here, so I'm up to like 10,000. So I started with 5,000, and we just kept winning. So I started it like I think on this day on the 5th, and then just won every single trade. Or I think it started on basically the 1st of the month. and we had a crazy win streak. So I kind of built that account from 5,000 to 10,000 within like a couple of weeks. So I did it with 5,000. I don't recommend because it's kind of little compared to like what you would need. You just want to make sure that you cover margin, right? I think the initial margin requirement is like 9,000 or 8,000. So that's how much you would typically need in your account to just hold a trade or even execute a trade. But I think because of leverage, you can use it with like about 5,000. So I start with 5,000, but I recommend starting with more than that. So to be on the safe side, 10,000 in the account is typically where you want to be, which is still really cheap compared to like a stock account. Like if you're trading stocks and you have to cover the what's it, the PDT rule, or yeah, whatever it's called, you would need at least 25,000 to scalp on stocks. So the futures, you just have to cover the margin, which you'd have to check with your broker. If you're using Ninja Trader, I think it's 7,000 or 8,000. So you want to be above that to be safe. Omar is asking, how many losses can you afford on the 5K account? Well, I mean, you wouldn't be able to lose anything because you'd be under the margin. So that's why I'm saying you should have at least 10,000. Because I initially planned on depositing 10,000 on that account, but my bank only allowed for 5,000. So I could only do like 5,000 a week. So I was planning on doing 5,000 and then depositing more to cover the margin, but I just kept winning. So I ended up building that account to 10,000. So you shouldn't start with 5,000. I'm just saying that's what I started with, Omar. You should have at least 10,000 in the account because you're not going to cover margin. And if you don't understand how margin works, it means they're going to close you out of your position because you get a margin call. All right, so this right here would be a breakout V3 continuation, guys, if anybody was looking to take it. I mean, obviously I wouldn't take it, but it's right after news. The news right here at 7 o'clock. Let me check the news real quick. So news at 7 o'clock was mixed. It was more so positive. So probably want to be careful with any entries here. Got that right there. All right, let's see. So Omar said, so with 10K, you'd be able to lose 1 or 2K total before you run out of margin. Yeah, but so if you have enough, if you use that much, you can probably go down to like, you can go down to less because we're day trading. So you just need to have enough in the account so that there's like some cushion there. But I think you could, but you wouldn't be like, you'd lower your contract size. You don't have to take a full contract size. You can take something smaller. So you can just lose a couple $100. You don't have to lose like the full 1K per trade, right? For me personally, I take high risk. I take like a 10% risk per trade. And that's only because I trust the strategy, understanding of the whole four back-to-back loss maximum. So you'd have to check the margin. Like you have to, so you'd have to tell me what broker you're using, or you can go figure out what the initial margin is. Go find out whichever broker you want to use. Look at what the initial margin is. That's where your money should be at. Not all brokers are the same. Some brokers require, yeah. So just go to the Ninja Trader website, check what the initial margin is. I mean, I could even do it for you here. Let's go to ninjatrader.com. And then I think it shows you like whatever the margin is. So you go over here, pricing, view margins by market. You go to YM, CBOT, wherever it's at. And it'll tell you right here. So there's a whole list of everything you need here. So for the day margin, initial margin. Initial margin is what you need. That's how much you need in the account to actually just trade it. It let me trade. So it says right here, 9,240. Right, that's if you're trading the mini. You could always trade the, or I mean, you would be trading the mini. You could always trade the micro as well. So I think it just goes automatically to the micro. So if you have less than the amount, it'll just let you trade the micro. I just don't know what the micro is because I trade YM. So this is what the initial margin is. And then you just have to ask them too. So like for me personally, it says that's the initial margin of 9,000, but I don't have I didn't have 9,000 in the account initially. They still let me take the trade. I think because if you're scalping, they don't really like it doesn't trigger any red flags. Since we're only in the trade for like a couple minutes, it doesn't like raise a red flag where they're going to margin call you. So I think you could even start with less, to be honest. I mean, I don't want to tell you to use it because I don't want you to get margin called and then be all mad. So you should have at least 10,000 in the account. But like honestly, I've been trading with below 9,000 for at least like a couple of weeks, like when I first started the account. So I don't think they really care too much as long as you don't hold it for like, an hour. If you hold it for like an hour, 2 hours, it's going to raise red flags in their system. And then they'll call you up and be like, hey, Omar, you need to deposit more money. You're not covering the initial margin. And the only reason I know this is because I'm studying for the test. I'm studying for the Series 3. And I know all the details about like the whole process of it. And that's why I understand what initial margin is now. I didn't understand it before, but now I do. Or this can come down. So it looks like right here, this is the breakout V3 continuation. So this is the breakout V3 continuation that I was mentioning earlier, guys. It already hit full TP right there. So I'm just marking up entries as they come up. This was also a pivot scalp and a momentum. So this is a pivot scalp, momentum scalp because the trend meter was red below and the sell signal was red. And it was also a pivot scalp because the sell signal came up below the pivots. So there's a bunch of entries that are coming up here, guys. If you guys are still applying the regular scalp strategies that I used to apply back then, there's a lot of entries that are coming up. It looks like this is going to be a pretty good month because all the entries are hitting again. So we have the MPS, momentum pivot scalp, breakout V3 continuation, BV3 full TP, PRV full TP, and of course liquidity. There's no other liquidity that's nearby, I don't think. Let me zoom out real quick. Actually, there is. So there's liquidity that's coming up right here. Down there. Let's see, let me scroll up. Maria had a question. Sorry, Maria, I did see your screenshot above, but I think I got knocked down a little bit. So Maria's asking why her trade wasn't executed. Let's see. Yeah, so if you guys get this message, this means that your account's blown. If it says orders can be placed by administrators only, this means that your account has been blown, unfortunately. So it looks like you blew your account, Maria, unfortunately. Yeah, it looks like you hit your trailing drawdown. So make sure that you follow it on Tradovate so that you can see where your trailing drawdown is. Because if your trailing drawdown is super low, then you just have to decrease your contract size. It looks like you were taking the H contract, so you could have probably taken a smaller one to survive, whatever drawdown you had left. But I mean, it happens. It's really tricky. That's why I always have my Tradovate logged in at all times on my third screen. And that's why so what I do every day is I always set my contract size the day before. So like right now, once we get off this live session, I'm going to go and set my contract size for tomorrow. So I already know what my contract size is going to be. For my main accounts, I'm going to keep them the same, but for my initial funded accounts, like my first and second, because the drawdown is slightly different on those. Let's see, Patricia's asking Sean on your live, how many contracts are you taking? It fluctuates. So it depends on what my account size is right now. So right now I had a win for the day. I made about 1,000. So for today, I used 6 contracts, which was 750 risk. It was because I did a small withdrawal to see how the withdrawal process was. I was at 10,000. I withdrew about like I withdrew 3,000 to make sure that, everything is running smooth. So I left 7,000 in the account, a little over 7,000. So I was taking a 6 contract. I was risking 750 per trade. That's about a 10% risk. So that's where I'm at now. I had a win from today. So I'm probably going to increase it a little more. The next contract size is 7, and that risk is going to be 875. So if my account is at 8,750 or above, I'm going to use that contract size because I'm risking about 10%. And I only risk 10% because it's a small account. Once this account's like at 100K, I'll lower the risk. I'll go from like 10% to 5% to 3% or whatever it may be. But it has such a high win rate, so I'm okay with like doubling up on the account because I know it's going to hit or it's going to balance out at some point. just like we had to balance out last week. Let's see, question from Froylan. Froylan is asking, let's see, morning, Sean, can you explain why only the BB3 breakout can be traded at 25.25 and not continuation? Because the whole point of the breakout is that you're having a breakout, right? During breakout time, you have high volatility. During the continuation time, you have low volatility. So look at so if you were to take, so this right here is the continuation, right? If you're taking the continuation here for 25.25, you'd still be in the position. You probably would have lost the position, or it's still running right now. The volatility is low. That's why it's called a continuation, because it's no longer a breakout. It's just a continuation of the breakout. You get a breakout earlier over here, which was our entry. That happened at 6:37 when volatility was high. And then now the continuation over here, you can see how it's moving slow, right? And that's why it falls under one of the regular scalps. So the continuation is meant to, it's like literally what it's called, continuation, because it's a continuation of the breakout. Breakout pushed downwards, and then you're just following the continuation in that direction. But because the volatility is lower, you're not able to catch the full 25, because you're going to get a lot of this back and forth movement. That's why you want to get in and out very quickly. That's why all the other scalps here are 1030, right? Because, or 1025 for the MPS, because the volatility is too low. You want to get in and out when you can, because you're scalping, you're not day trading. I mean, your scalping is technically day trading, but day trading, you're holding on to it for like a couple minutes, 10, 20 minutes, etc. But for scalping, you're in and out within like, less than 5 minutes. So if you took the continuation right here, like I said, it's just a continuation of the breakout. We already knew price was coming down from the breakout. This here just kept pushing that direction, and you would have got in and out super quickly for 10 points right there. All right, let's see. Other questions here. Yeah, if you guys have questions, guys, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm okay with answering questions right now because I'm not personally looking for any trades. There's another pivot scalp that might be setting up right here, pending sell signal, but you guys can see the volatility here is very low. So it's not really too useful. Yeah, Maria. So if you want to check your, are you in Rhythmic, Maria? Because I don't know how to check your trailing drawdown on Rhythmic. I'm not sure if you're on Rhythmic or if you're on Trade08. If you want to, so you probably want to message Apex, ask them how you can check on Rhythmic if that's what you're using. Because I'm not familiar with Rhythmic, so I don't even know how you can. I know there's a way. If you're using NinjaTrader, that is Trade08. NinjaTrader owns Trade08. But you have to, when you signed up, you chose either Rhythmic or Trade08, right? So you have like one or the other. If you sign up for Trade08, then you use the same login. Okay, so you're using Rhythmic. Yeah, if you're using Rhythmic, I would check the FAQs, or I would just message Apex. Just message them directly and ask them, and they'll just tell you, because it's easier that way, so you just get it from the source. I don't use Rhythmic, so I'm not even sure how to check on there. I don't think you can check on NinjaTrader. Unless anybody else here knows. If anybody here knows how to check your trailing drawdown on Rhythmic, that would help Maria a lot, but I personally don't know. So unfortunately, Maria, I can't help you with that. Sorry. Let's see. So let me scroll up real quick. All right, so we got some more team profits here. We have Nick over here. Nice work, Nick. Full TP on all of his accounts. Got some slippage, but he's good. So Nick over here locked in a total profit of well over 2,000 on his Apex accounts. All wins there, and he has a total profit of 1,236 on his all wins. We have Gian over here, total profit of 319 for the day. Nice work, Gian. We have Matt over here, some profit from Cambodia. You did pretty good, bro, with your lagging internet, I assume. You locked in 1,000 on your first account, 800 on the others. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about over 6,000 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Matt. So yeah, this is an example of like being able to trade wherever you are, right? So Matt's over here in Cambodia right now. He's trading, locking in some pretty good profits. So that's good to know. So if I decide to travel and trade, it'll be fine. I'll probably have like some sort of reliable internet. But I know it's kind of hard when you're like trading in areas where, internet is not really readily available. We have Casey over here as well, total profit of 1,000 for the day per account. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 accounts. So well over 10,000 for the day. Nice work, Casey. We have Patricia here, total profit of 13,120 for the day. Nice work, Patricia. We have Kevin, total profit of well over 1,000 for the day. Nice work, Kevin. All wins. And we have Johnny over here with a total profit of 22,400 for the day. Nice work, Johnny. So Johnny took the high-low scalp and took another trade earlier as well. Other than that, there's a pivot scalp here that came up again, guys. If you guys were following it, this is the one that we were looking for that sell signal. There's a pivot scalp and momentum scalp right here, another full TP. So as you guys can see, if you guys are applying any of the other strategies, all of the other strategies are still working very fine. I'm only applying the BV3 because I'm doing this for testing purposes, of course. This is the only way that we'll figure out if the strategy works well long-term. I can't eat into my margin from the other trade. So I'm taking this trade only. But if you guys want to take anything else, the PRB hit full TP, a bunch of scalps here hit full TP as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because these counted as like 2 or 3 entries. So about 8 entries here. That's about 800 points for the regular scalps. PRB here for 25 points. BV3, 25 points. And then the liquidity over here as well. 3 of them hit for 30 points. So all wins for the day, no losses for any of the strategies, depending on which strategy you guys were looking to apply here. But if you guys just want to stick to the BV3, that's fine. That's all I'm doing. And it's paying me well. So, I mean, it's paying everybody here well, I think. So if you guys want to stick to something simple, BV3 is fine. All right, other than that, let me go back to the questions. All right, so Omar is asking, will you be slowly increasing contract size per trade after your balance is 1? Yeah, well, I'm always increasing my contract size. I don't really do the 4 trade to loss rule on my personal account, Omar, because I've determined my contract size based on the account size. So it's always a 10% risk. You can't do a 10% risk. The only reason we're doing 4 trades to loss on Apex is because of the trailing drawdown. On a personal account, you don't have a trailing drawdown, so you can use whatever contract size you want. So I don't follow that rule for my personal account. My personal account, I just take a 10% risk per trade. So every day the contract size is different. Like for example, like when we were during this win streak right here, like we had a crazy win streak, right? We were winning like every single trade. So I was increasing my contract size almost like double every single day because I started at 5,000 and then I ended up at like 7,000 and then I ended up at like 10,000 and like obviously my contract size is going up, right? So I was risking like 5 contracts, and then when I was at 1,000, I was now risking like 8 contracts. And then if we kept winning, like if this win streak kept going, I would have just increased it higher. So like, and I don't know if there's a cap on the contract size, so I would just keep going higher and higher and higher. So like that's why I'm kind of excited that if we have a win streak over here again, I'm gonna keep going higher. I'm currently at 6 contracts. I'm probably gonna be at 7 by tomorrow because of the win from today. And then I'm gonna go higher to like 1,000, or which is not 8 contracts. And then if we win another 1,000, then I'll be at like 15 contracts. So I'll be doubling up contract sizes very quick. That's why I like the personal account, because you can double up very quickly versus on Apex where you're kind of limited because you have a trailing drawdown and it doesn't typically, like, you have to calculate differently when you have a trailing drawdown versus when you don't have a trailing drawdown, because you can just take as many trades as you like and you just keep making your own adjustments. Here, let me scroll up real quick. So T's asking, yeah, so when you set up your TP stop loss, you would set it to 25.25 just for the BB3. If you're taking regular scalps, then you would set it to 10.30 or 10.25, depending on which strategy you're using. But for the BB3, it's 25.25. That's what it would be for that specific strategy. Nice. Say you took the pivot scalp right there, reduces contract size to 3, and he hit his full TP. Yeah, Omar. So for my funded accounts, I mean, all my accounts are PA accounts. I don't have any evals. When the trailing drawdown goes up, I could increase the contract size, but the max contract is 17. I was already at 17 before. So like when I was at 1,000, at some point I was at 160,000 on my main account. and my contract size was at 17. That's a max contract. There's a cap on the PA counts. So my plan was to basically get max payouts for like the first 3 months. And then once I take all my payouts out, then I'll just start a 300K account and then I'll just swap them out after. Because there's a contract size limit for Apex, which is 17, which is not bad. I mean, 17 is still good because if you do a 17 contract, it's 2,125 times 20. You're still making like 42,500 per trade, like per winning BV3. So once you're like maxed out on a 150K account, this is how much profit you can make per day across 20 accounts. But of course, you know, if you want to go higher, then obviously you have to get a bigger account, which is a 300K. So for me personally, I'm probably gonna, like, I wish I knew this before, but I mean, it's all good. I'm okay with the profits. If I knew the BV3 was going to be such a good strategy, I would have started with 300K accounts versus 150K. They just take longer to pass because you have to manage risk properly with the trailing drawdown. So normally for the 150K count, so we do a 10 contract, right, to pass the eval. So you have to make 9,000 divided by 125, right? So you have to win 8 times to pass your eval on a 150K account. You just have to win 8 times. It might take a whole month, but eventually it'll happen. Like last month, we had 13 wins and 5 losses. If you took all the trades during March, you would have passed your eval, like guaranteed. I don't want to say guaranteed, but that's, if you do the math, that's literally what it would have been. For a 300K account, it's a little bit higher. Right? What's the pass for a 300K account? 300K account is 20,000 goal, and your trailing drawdown is 7,500. So if you were to do the math here, if you're doing the same thing that we were talking about before, so 7,500 divided by 4, you can risk 1,875. So that's gonna be a 15 contract. The max contract on this is 35 contracts. That's a lot of freaking contracts, right? It's a lot of contracts. So if you were to do a 300K challenge, you have to make 20,000 profit goal, right? Divided by 1875. You'd have to win about 10.6 times. So you have to win about 3 more days to pass the 300K. You could have done the same thing, same risk, but it would just take you a couple more trades to pass. So, but then you get a 35 contract max. So you think about this, like, so now it's 35 contracts, right? So 35 times 5, or wait, what is it? Yeah, 35 contracts times 5 times 25. You can make 4,375 per account times 20. You can make 87,500 if you have like 20 300K accounts. So it's like double the profit basically. As you guys see, it makes a big difference. And that's when you're capped out at 35 contracts. So you just got to understand the math. If you understand the math, you like it's super simple because you understand probability. Obviously, you know, you guys know the strategy. We're doing the 4 back-to-back rule. And the profits they just multiply. They just multiply like crazy once you have a bigger account. So that's my plan. Once I get like all my payouts on all of my 150K accounts, I'm gonna slowly start swapping them out for 300K accounts. I'm just gonna start some 300K challenges and then I'm gonna build them up. Once I'm done and they're funded, then I'm just gonna switch them out. CJ's asking for drawdown. We're looking at distance drawdown net liquidity. Yes. Well, yeah, it just says distance drawdown. That's where you can see where it lines up. Yeah, Omar said, yeah, it makes sense. Definitely makes sense to switch over down the line. Yeah, and that's the key thing. So I'm just getting comfortable with, you know, these 150K accounts. You're capped at your withdrawal limit for like the first 3 months anyways. So for us, I believe it's 2,750, right? So 2,750 times 20. So basically for the next 3 months, or every 2 weeks, I'll try to get this much withdrawal, 55,000. So 55,000 times 2, that's 110,000 times 3 months. That's 330,000. Once I get all this out, then I'll take the rest of the money out, and then I'll switch it over to 300K accounts. And it's just a long-term plan. It's a long-term goal with Apex. Because Apex is obviously the best lending company out there. I don't know why anybody would use anybody else. Like Top Step always has issues. They're reliable, but they always have issues. Like right now, I couldn't even copy my trade to that account because it won't show up on my NinjaTrader, which I'm gonna have to figure out later. All right. Yeah, so it looks like majority of you guys are done so far, guys. If there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I don't really see anything else here for us to take. As you guys can see, every entry has been hitting for today. Momentum pullback scalp, pivot scalp, intraday scalp, momentum scalp, high-low scalp, breakout V3, continuation, breakout V3, PRV, etc. And liquidity down below too. So liquidity down here just got hit too, if anybody caught that. I mean, it's a pretty good day. I think you could have taken any strategy from today. Like everybody here should have made money regardless. You guys didn't even have to take the BB3 with me. If you took any other strategy here, there's like no way for you to lose because there's no losing trades today. Every single trade hit. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 entries that came up today. Literally every strategy hit today with no losses. So hopefully you guys have profits today. If you guys didn't make profits today, I don't know what to tell you because there's so many entries here that you guys could have taken. You could have taken any liquidity. You could have made any mistake. You could have pulled a Steven today and do some random stuff and still hit profits for the day. But yeah, everybody should have profits. So I'm happy that we started off this month like this because we really needed this after last month. The ending of last month was kind of shitty. Like just to be blunt, it was pretty shitty because every trade we had here, we had like if you look at the notes here, it was like low volatility. We had entries like right at news and they kept screwing up our trades. Today I was kind of worried because we were right at news again. And I was scared that, okay, this might not work out again because we might get manipulated. But thankfully it worked out in our favor and everything played out as it should. We have one last profit post here from Ross. Ross locked in a total profit of about 900 for the day. He has 20 accounts here, so well over 19,000 all wins. We have Cam over here as well. Nice work, Cam. Cam locked in a total profit of 1,491. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 accounts, so well over 9,000 for the day, basically 10,000. Oh wait, no, sorry, 6,500 because the lower ones down here were like 300. So in total, Cam locked in a total profit of about 6,500. Other than that, let me see what other questions are here. Yeah, exactly. Kenny said, I think last week was bad because of news, low ATR, and it was a holiday week. Yeah, those are the worst. I hate trading holiday weeks and I hate trading weeks with a lot of like random news that come up. So I think it'll be pretty solid moving forward. We just got to stick to it. Again, like I said, I'm going to stick to the BB3 because it just makes the most sense for me, especially with the probabilities that we're using. And I think it'll keep working fine. We just got to keep using it. And I'm hoping it comes up early because whenever it comes up early like this, it's usually a good sign versus the slow sideways market that we're kind of stuck in down here. Let's see. Question from Sadie. Sadie's asking, going forward, do we not take BB3 around news? No, I'm going to keep taking it. So we don't have enough data to identify if that's the problem because it could have just been low volatility. There's a lot of different factors going into why the BB3 was having issues last week. It was news, ATR, and it was a holiday week. So, I mean, holiday week is probably going to be one of the key things to pay attention to, but news again. So we'll keep pulling data. And then if that's the case where we need to start avoiding trades around news, then we'll do that. But other than that, I think that's fine. I mean, either way, if we took the trade over here, like say, for example, we waited later. I don't think there was another entry if we waited later. Actually, no, there wasn't. Yeah. So if we waited later, there still wouldn't have been an entry till now. So we'll just keep it as is. But all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, if you guys want to reach out to me personally, you guys can also DM me. We have some more profits here from Shannon. Shannon said 2 wins for the day, BB3, total profit of 300. Nice work, Shannon. She got a new 300K count too. Nice. All right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have questions, reach out.